Hey, yo, welcome back. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. I'm back. I'm back home. I'm back in my office. I'm back in my studio. I'm back doing my thing. Thank you to everybody who tuned into our last episode, which was, the reaction to the Kendrick Lamar Juneteenth concert. So what happened was, I had family in ATL. My sister lives right outside of Atlanta. So I had already planned a trip for me and my family to go down south, visit my sister, hang out, just do the family thing. But I still knew I wanted to do an episode. I still knew I had to do an episode. I still knew y'all were expecting to do an episode. And my man Travis owns a studio down there called the HBUC. They shoot for a lot of people down there. I will go on the list, but a lot of people that have shot videos down there for sure. So if you need something, definitely hit my man up. So I asked him if I could use the space to film, my video, my not a podcast, just my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And then I took it a step further. I said, hey, man, how about you come on camera with me? Call my man Wayne. Yo, how about you come on camera with us and let's watch the concert together on the live stream, and then we could do our reaction to it. So that's what you saw. I got y'all feedback. A lot of y'all was killing my man Travis. A lot of y'all like the dynamic of the three of us. So if y'all want to see more of that, let me know. A lot of y'all asked me to please just come back and also do the solo video, do what y'all used to. So we here doing that right now. I'm back home. I landed last night, so I'm right back with it. I'm here. I want to talk about the Kendrick concert still, the Juneteenth concert, Ken and Friends, the pop out. Plus, the music video is coming. We're going to break that down when that drops. But, I figured for this one, I'll just quickly list my 5 favorite moments in the show on what was it now, Wednesday night? I believe that was Wednesday. So my 5 favorite moments on Wednesday night show. At number 5, I'm gonna count down backwards. At number 5, Tyler the Creator coming out during Mustard's portion of the show was amazing. He did Earthquake. He did What's Your Name. It's incredible to me because Tyler's such a visionary. I think Tyler's always been that since the early days of Our Future. Definitely LA. Definitely reps LA. But I don't think he's seen by the outside world as an LA artist because Our Future was so different. Tyler was so different. Definitely not part of the street side of LA. And not that Kendrick obviously absolutely has ties to that, but Kendrick wasn't that type of artist either in the way maybe that YG presented himself to be, or even in the way that J-Rock was. Kendrick was more maybe eclectic or seemed to be more eclectic, though we know where his roots lie. Nobody is debating that. But, I don't think we've seen, or if hip hop has much grouped Tyler into that, right? But he's from LA. Of course, he was raised on that. So when you talk about the culture, when you talk about the music, when you talk about things that move LA artists, when you talk about things that inspire LA artists, Tyler has all of that and turned it into his own thing. So I just thought it was amazing to see Tyler come out, be a part of this whole thing, which, really unified the streets at the end of it. I'll get to that later. But Tyler still be seen. Tyler still be accepted. Steve Lacy as a part of that too. But to see Tyler come out, embrace the excitement from the crowd, the excitement from just everybody, the excitement from him. And he's an amazing performer. He's a veteran performer, so he's a technician on that stage. He's going to do it, to perfection. So it was incredible for the rest of the world to see Tyler get that love. It was incredible for Tyler to get that love. I thought that was a super dope moment, all right? And number 4, Black Hippie on stage. I did my prediction video, and I got a lot of stuff right. A lot of stuff that I wanted to see come to fruition came to fruition. I got some stuff wrong. I was totally, I'll admit when I'm wrong, right? Game popping out was not going to happen, was never going to happen. Y'all call me out on that in the comments. But Black Hippie on stage, I really wanted to see. I really thought we were going to see it. And it was dope the way that unfurled, right? Kendrick is doing Money Trees, and J-Rock comes out on stage to do Money Trees. J-Rock has such a memorable verse on that record. That's such an incredible classic record for day one TDE fans. J-Rock did Win. He did King's Dead. Future wasn't there. It ended up turning to an all LA thing, right? So, we didn't see Future. I thought we would see Future, and I thought we'd see the three of them do King's Dead. But that was cool. I did miss it. It was dope that it was all LA. It was actually beautiful and necessary that it was all LA. I get that. I get that now. I didn't get that pre-show, right, when I did the predictions. But we see J-Rock come on stage. Q does Collard Greens, and that part, Soul coming out, didn't do a record, but Soul coming out as Dot raps 616 in LA, and Dot is rapping the lyrics to Soul, and Soul is hyping him up. I thought it was just a beautiful moment to see all four of them on stage. Even the moment when Soul was like, "Yo, y'all know I can't see," and you can see Kendrick and J Rock, because Soul has health issues, so he affects his vision, and you see J Rock and Kendrick kind of helping him around the stage. I think was super dope. I don't believe we're ever gonna get a Black Hippie album. They've been vocal about that. Like, the Black Hippie album is not happening. They moved past that. But it was great seeing them. It was great seeing the camaraderie, and I hope there's a TDE 20-year compilation album, 20-year celebration album coming. They've been talking about it. I would like to see one Black Hippie song, one song with all four of them on the 20-year anniversary album, just a song. I feel like it's only right. But seeing them on stage was great, man. So amazing. And number 4 was Black Hippie on stage for me. And the number 3 moment for me was Kendrick getting on stage and opening with Euphoria. I thought it was just the perfect way to open. This night became ultimately, and as the night went on, and I don't know how many people expected or predicted it, I had kind of seen it and felt like it was going to be like a victory lap, like E40 said in his opening monologue, or really for more, I saw it as like a championship parade, right? And I didn't know if it was going to be as scathing. I was like, okay, he's definitely going to do, I knew he was going to do Like That. I knew he was going to do Not Like Us. I didn't know how many of the diss records he would do. And, but I never thought that it would be a whole bunch of on stage in between songs. Yo, fuck Drake, fuck this, fuck that. Like, I thought it would be bigger than that. He obviously has to do the diss records. This is what the people want to see. And I'm sure Kendrick wants to perform these records. It's the first time he's performing these records. But I knew it was going to become more than that. And Euphoria was the perfect way to open. I think it gets the crowd engaged. Euphoria is an amazing record. It's not the hit that Not Like Us is, but Euphoria, like, amazing record. 616. These are like amazing records. Perfect way to open. I'm not surprised that we didn't hear Meet the Grams. That's a hard record to perform. It also takes energy out the room. Like, Euphoria, perfect way to open. Dot comes on stage and shows that he means business, and the crowd going word for word. So that was my number 3 moment. Just a perfect opening. It'll be interesting to see if he'll ever perform this record again. Usually after beefs, like, you don't get, like, Nas doesn't perform Ether anymore. Jay-Z doesn't perform Takeover. I don't think Drake performs back to back anymore now that him and Meek are cool. So it'll be interesting how long Euphoria, in particular 616 in LA, remain a part of Kendrick's set, right? So this might be the only time you ever get to see him perform it. Who knows? I don't know, but it'll be interesting. My number 2 moment was DJ Head. Shout out to DJ Head. Shout out to the homie DJ Head. I actually been speaking to Head throughout this whole thing, right? Like, me, Head, Daylight, got a little group chat. So we've been speaking throughout this whole thing. But I didn't ask Head what he was going to do. I didn't want to know. I wanted, as a fan, I wanted to be surprised. And even if I asked, Head wouldn't have told me, because Head understands the performance element, the element of surprise, the element of protecting kind of what's sacred to him. So there was no inside information. There's absolutely no inside information about any of this. But I was just happy to see it as a fan. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to DJ Head. I think, that opening part of the show was so important, giving space to LA's new artists, right? And it gets important towards the end of the show. Plus some classic artists were in that mix as well. But look, I'm talking about Remble, Ray Vaughn, Cuzzos, Rucci, AZ Shike, Jay Worthy and the Whoops, Wiley the Sensei, Westside Boogie, Zoe Osama, Kalen For Real, G Perico, Bino Rideau, Blue Bucks Clan, RJ, OGZ was there, Problem, Jason Martin, Tommy the Clown, which is, again, like, classic LA culture. Like, that was just for LA, right? And I think DJ Head giving space to all those artists was super important. It, like, set the tone in an incredible way. So that was my number 2 moment, just seeing those guys and get the light. You know what I'm saying? Number 1. Number one moment, everybody number one moment, no surprise here. The performance of Not Like Us and the picture that we got. Everybody on stage by the end of, what was it, the fifth or sixth time? I think it was the fifth time he performed Not Like Us, and everybody's on stage, and then he walked out to the instrumental. So, it starts with the Dr. Dre intro. First of all, I told you, like, I felt like Dre and Snoop were going to be there. I should have checked the tour schedule. Snoop and Dogg Pound were on tour. I feel like if they weren't on tour, they most likely would have been there. But Dr. Dre there made a whole lot of sense to me. There's not a lot of people who get Dr. Dre out. You get Dr. Dre to come out for the Super Bowl. Kendrick gets Dr. Dre to come out for this moment. Now, and then, I see Dead People, and then he gets into Not Like Us, right? Now, Kendrick fumbled some of the words, but the energy was perfect, right? I've seen a lot of people, you don't know the words. The energy was perfect. If you've seen Kendrick on stage, he's a tactician, especially the Mr. Morale tour. I have said this before, but that may be the most well choreographed male rap show that I've been to. And when I say choreograph, it's not like Kendrick is hitting dance steps or doing moves, but in the Mr. Morale show, like, there are places that he has to be on that stage when he goes with the ventriloquist and has to time his words and time his steps and times his movements and make sure that he's on this part of the stage when this triggers and that part of the stage when that triggers. And Kendrick's not a dancer, right, per se. So to see an artist who's not like a full-on dancer, who's not like full-on doing choreography, but it's still choreography. He's not dancing, but it's still choreographed. So we know that Kendrick is one of the most choreographed. We know that he's a technician. None of that could be doubted. And I think what we saw on stage on Wednesday night was pure energy. And that energy was dope too, right? To me, again, this is the beginning of the championship parade. This is the celebration. This is, hey guys, I brought the chip home. The two biggest rappers in the game going at it. And I won. I proved I'm the biggest. So he's running off of adrenaline. He's running off of energy. The crowd going word for word was incredible, right? Especially with the narrative that the song was fueled by bots. You've seen a lot of this. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what side you're on, no matter who you're a bigger fan of, you have to admit, to not be able to admit that Not Like Us is a hit record, that Not Like Us makes people feel something, that when that record comes on, that it doesn't bring people joy and elation. And it's not just hate. I know people are like, oh, it's a hate record. Oh, it's a hate concert. Like yes, like there is some heavy accusations in there. There's heavy, there's just heavy material in there. The A minor thing, the pedophile thing, like all of that, yes, is very heavy. But there is something in the song that is very celebratory at the same time. And, because Meet the Grams is heavy too. In a similar way. Meet the Grams even heavier than Not Like Us, but there's not a happiness, there's not a joy, there's not a celebration. There's something about the instrumentation as well as in Not Like Us, something about just the vibe of that record, something about the way that record makes you feel that brings joy out of people. And yes, it is absolutely a Drake diss song. Yes, it is absolutely venom and filled with all of that, but it's not just hate. Like there's something in that record, like even with that beat, like you could rap different words on it, and there's something in that record that brings energy out. So I want to acknowledge that, right? Like there's a reason that people react to that record the way it is, and I think Drake fans are like, oh, it's just fueled by Drake hate. Like, yes, that is in there. You have to acknowledge that's in there, but there's something else in that record. There's like feel good in that record, for as strange as that may sound, and you can't deny that's a hit record. Like it's a hit record, man. It just is what it is. So the crowd going word for word, real people going word for word, especially during this narrative that the song was fueled by bots and the song is successful because of bots. Man, maybe you got to show me evidence of that. Sure, I think a lot of artists, and I'm not saying Kendrick did it. I'm saying I don't know, but I'm also saying in this music industry, I know a lot of labels, a lot of artists use bots, use artificial streams to boost their music. Like it happens all across the board. So me hearing that, and again, I don't know what's true or what's not, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I wasn't surprised when I heard that. But regardless of what it is, there are real people that carried that song. It was a real moment and real people that carried that song. And I think people are kind of getting hung up on this conspiracy theory, and you're just denying, no matter what you believe, like you're just denying the magic that's in this record. It's a hit record. And then at the end, he gets to the end of it, and the picture that he takes puts the whole night in perspective, with all of these different artists, all of these people from different sections of the city that represent different things, getting on stage, being able to dance, have this victory lap, have this celebration, and no problems, no issues. These guys could stand next to each other. They could smile. They could high five. They could laugh. I think that's an incredible thing. That's an incredible moment. And shout to Kendrick, because again, obviously this was fueled by the Drake beef and whatever, but he didn't make it all about that. Also, Kendrick didn't take the light from this, and he could have got up there, and I don't think anybody will fault him. He could have got up there and beat his chest and said, I'm the king of rap, I'm number one, and he could have made the show all about him, and I don't think anybody would have faulted him. That would have been within his right. Like, he fought hard to get to this point. This battle had been brewing for 10 years. He wanted this smoke. He came out on top. He could have got on that stage and made it all about him, and I don't think anybody would have blamed him for it. Instead, what he did was he got on that stage and he made it about his city. So now I think these records, this moment, starts to represent something bigger than Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts to represent something bigger than the battle, and I think that's what helps it live in infamy. Now, the question is to LA and to all these artists, can you keep that energy? Can you keep this sign of unity that y'all just showed and displayed? And can you keep it running? And can you keep it building? And can some of these artists use that look, use that energy, use that platform to continue building their careers into something bigger for the city? It'll be dope to see. Then we'll really look back on this moment like, yo, this was historic. So shout to that. The number one moment. I don't know how you can deny that. Also, special shout out to the Nipsey moment. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. I love to see Nipsey get honored in the way that he deserves. But ultimately, Dot took this victory against Drake and the light that came with it and shined it on his city. And there's a music video coming, so I think that's going to be special. We're going to break that down when that drops, and we're going to take a look at that and see what we see there. But that's it, man. These are just my thoughts. So let me know what you think in the comment. Like, subscribe, all that, all right? And I'll be back. I'll see y'all in a couple of days. Peace.